Hello everybody, it is Wednesday, the 30th of August. I want to talk about the power of saying no, the power of the word that is no. And I want to talk about mating with spiders, because it is really uncanny that David Icke should have come up with this image of the spider in a web, because the way that spiders mate, this whole image totally lends itself to describing what is happening to us at the moment. Yeah, but I'll come to that in a minute. Now, this morning I watched a video and there was this guy saying, oh, you have found my channel, we're here together, we are now, you can say yes. You have the power to say yes. You want to say yes. It was bloody hypnotic. And I know that feeling. How do I know that feeling? Because I've been struggling against this, against a mating, really. Because that's what happened a few years ago, when I came down and I heard this word mating dance. And I saw this bird of plumage. I didn't see it, but it was like there was a bird of plumage there, showing off its feathers, and I said no. I'm still saying no. But I've been going for so long that I'm so tired, I'm that exhausted. And there's a voice in me saying, you know what, just say yes. To hell with it, let it through. To hell with the consequences. Yeah, there's a part of me saying that. It's becoming more and more of a temptation to let it happen. But I'm still saying no. I'm still trying to understand what is actually happening to us at the moment. And it's important that we do. Yeah, we are not to have no knowledge of self and being led toward the spider for a mating as a living sacrifice. Yeah? No way. Ain't gonna happen. So, now, what happens is that they put seeds into our heads, thoughts. It is propaganda, it's full on propaganda. Yeah? Little phrases, and let that sink in and become a reality in your mind, in your subconscious. You're coming into agreement with it, and then you're becoming the energy of it. You're not only physically acting and speaking according to it, but you're becoming the energy of it. And that is where two worlds at the moment are trying to merge, because we are shifting toward them. Not because they're coming here. They're not shifting. God is unchanging. God does not change. We are shifting toward them. And I want to talk about at least one phrase later on that was in our subconscious, and we have kind of corrected it already. That is to show that we can correct what we are thinking, what is, in our subconscious, if we are aware of self. Now, when I heard this video earlier, about, oh yeah, you want to say yes, I left a comment and I said, no, actually, I'm saying yes and I'm saying no. I'm allowing things, or I judge them as correct, and I judge things as being not correct. I allow thoughts that would cause an expansion, but I'm also causing a restriction. I am the duality. Yeah? And the thing is, if we want to grow up to become free with self-determination, yeah, in order to have freedom, you need to have a choice. Yeah? And if there is no choice, if it's, oh, you know, you are the village idiot, do away with self and just say yes, then that is not freedom. And that is not self-determination. The other thing is whatever you let in, you know, it affects you. It affects those around you. So love yourself. Yeah? I have rights. I have the right to say no. What I let in affects those around me. Love your neighbor. Love this world. Care about what happens next. Because it's coming through you. You are the gate. You are the bride. So, yeah, you have the right to say no. Now, in this world, and we know in this world, we are developing consciousness. We have, through our history, our definitions of right and wrong have changed. We say, well, in that respect, we have become more civilized. We know it, we don't always do it. In fact, most of the time, we seem to be operating on a different level and on a different set of rules from what we actually know. Again, we've been reprogrammed against what we naturally know to be right or wrong, but our consciousness has developed, and we just need to be aware of what we are and what we actually think is right and wrong. And so in most cultures now, we would say a female has got the right to say no when it comes to a mating. And if the male should persist against the female's wishes, we would consider that rape. Yeah? And we have judged that to be wrong. In most cultures we have, not all, but in most cultures we have. And the woman's right to say no. Now let's come to mating with spiders, because there's a different level there. When you look at how a spider mates, it's really uncanny. The male spider subdues the female. It puts the female into a trance, and for very good reasons. The female is bloody dangerous. And if the male gets it wrong, it gets eaten. Yeah? Now, when it comes to humanity, I would go with a Hitchhiker's Guide to Galaxy, you know, the definition of us as mostly harmless, yes, but not completely harmless. And I think we would do very well to remember that right now, that we are not completely harmless, but that there is a different aspect to us. I think we should remember that. Anyway, so that's what the male spider does. It subdues the female, it puts it into a trance. And then look at the bloody spiritual idiots, and most of them are in a trance. I mean, you can see it, you can hear it. They're in a trance, they're not altogether there, they're not reasoning. So they have been made ready, they have been subdued, their nature, their truth has been subdued, and they're being made into this sacrifice by doing away with self. And they're coming into agreement with being that sacrifice. I'm not sure that they are fully aware of it, but that's what they're doing. Now, again, in this world, in physical reality, if a female is being drugged or being put in a trance in some way in order to mate with her, that is still considered rape. For most of us, our laws, it is still considered rape. Think about that. And then when you put on top of it the idea, which I have, that is that we are a very young consciousness that is still trying to find itself, that is still trying to define itself. So we are as children. Then you can put on top of everything else a charge of pedophilia. Drugging, subduing children in order to mate. So again, to most of our understanding in the physical world, that would be wrong. It doesn't become right in the spiritual, trust me. Because that is what we know. We've learned from experience, we have reasoned, we have created a knowledge of good and bad. And that is bad. That is very bad. But there are those in this world who are in contact with that particular spider, with that other reality, and they are grooming us. The bride is being groomed to suit the husband. No rights of her own, no knowledge of herself. She can go and sacrifice herself to the husband in the wedding night. And that is wrong. That is so wrong. Now, we are going toward this right now. As I said, there is another reality that is trying to merge with ours, where we become one. And we are being made the gateway, the bride that lets this thing in. Or actually, no, we are going toward it. The bride is moving toward her bridegroom to merge the two realities. And that's the way it's being done. Yeah? I mean, I hear people now and then, and it says humanity versus technology. No. It's got nothing to do with technology. Technology is an image that will divert you from this truth. The technology is in this is physical. This is not about a physical thing. It is the spirit of man versus the spirit of that spider. It is the desire of man, which for the most part in natural man is to live in this world, to have a family, to be connected to one another, to be connected to nature, versus the desire of that kingdom to rule over and my will shall be done. Yeah? This war is fought in heaven. It's got nothing to do with anything material. It will create a material world, but through consciousness, and ours is shifting. And it shouldn't. We should remember who we are. And the only reason why that spider has to mate the way of a spider, that is to subdue us, to subdue our nature, and to put us into a trance. The only reason why it has to do that is because it knows we wouldn't come into agreement with that. It knows that our desire is as much for connectivity as for freedom and self-determination, and it is that part we need to overcome. That's why we're being put into a trance. Now, as I said, seeds were sown into our subconscious over the years, and I show you how we are already correcting seeds that were there. Thoughts that were in cultures, in societies, that we have corrected. There was a saying about a woman, to say that if she chose a husband and got into a marriage, she was told, you've made your bed, now lie in it. once you have made a choice, you can't change it anymore now. That's it. That's your lot for the rest of your life. There's another saying about women, and that is that it is a female's prerogative to change her mind. And I think maybe we should go with that. We have already allowed seeds like those sayings in our heads, and we subconsciously agreed with them. And we just did according to those sayings, but we have corrected sayings that were in our subconscious. And this whole indoctrination, of, you are sinful, you are nothing, God's will must be done, come into agreement, don't go after your own knowing. Those were seeds that, for many, they are in the subconscious, but we must see them there, and then it is our prerogative to change our mind, to correct those sayings. I don't think we can get them out of our head. I don't know if it is a case, once you know it, you can't unknow it. But then we should pin a label on them, saying incorrect. Incorrect. Has been judged and has been found to be incorrect. And leave those labels there. And go with our evolved thinking. Our thinking has evolved in so many ways. Yeah? And we must see that. Humanity has evolved, and in many cases in a good way. But now all of a sudden it's like something is. But it seems to be always at a point where we would have had the foundation to build a new world, to really go forward on our own path, that it really doubles down on us, to try to really push us back. And I think that, again, that's what, there's an pushback at the moment, pushing against our nature, pushing against our truth. And we're coming very close to coming into agreement with the wrong thing. Because we are not really aware of what the meaning of it is. And we must become aware. And then we must become aware that we have the right to say no. That any God that wants to rule over you is a rapist if it's against your will. If he subdues you, if he subdues your nature, if he puts you into a trance, that is still rape. If you are, in fact, a very young consciousness, a child, then he's not only a rapist, he's a pedophile. And we really must become aware of the power of saying no. And that's where we are at the moment, I would say. Anyway, I leave it at that for today, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.